Kevin Hart, are you still with us? We're going to get into all the details in my opinion. Let's get into the show. Hey y'all, welcome back to episode 15 of the SHOPHIEJO Show. It's the SHOPHIEJO Show. And if you don't know, now you know. I am your host, SHOPHIEJO. Thanks so much for being here. We have some good stuff planned for this episode, so let's just get right into it. I know y'all have been seeing every freaking where Kevin Hart's Netflix roast that happened a couple weeks ago, and a lot of backlash Kevin Hart has been getting. He is now, I guess, trying to do damage control, kind of, sort of not. I don't know what he's doing, but Kevin Hart recently went on to The Breakfast Club, one of Black culture's largest media platforms, if you want to get a message out and your opinion out and reach the masses that people go on. Black entertainers, of course. So during the Kevin Hart roast on Netflix, one of the comedians, white guy, Tony Hinchcliffe, I've never heard of the man, but also it's probably me being a little biased because I won't lie to you guys. I just think there's a stark difference between white comedy and Black comedy, and I just enjoy Black comedy more, so I don't really know a lot of white comedians, honestly. But anyways, he said some pretty, teetering the line of disrespectful and comedy jokes when he was roasting Kevin Hart, and one of them was being a terrible joke about George Floyd and his death and all that stuff. Not only did he make that terrible joke, we are just coming up on the 6th year of the George Floyd murder that happened in front of the whole world in plain sight. So sensitive time, sensitive subject, not just for Black people, for all people. It should be all people. Anyways, he made a terrible joke, and that joke has really caused a lot of conversation, and Kevin Hart has taken some flack for it because people are saying, Kevin Hart, not only did your production company produce this roast, but aside from you being an entertainer, aside from you being a comedian, you are not only a man but a Black man at the top of the day and the end of the day. All the other stuff is in the middle. So where do you draw the line of, okay, this is too far? And I understand that a lot of the older generation, or just a lot of people in general, are saying that this current generation is too sensitive for comedy. A lot of people like to say, y'all wouldn't have made it when Bernie Mac was alive and doing in his prime of his career because we're too sensitive. I can agree and disagree with that. I understand what people are saying, but when it comes to a joke about a man being murdered in plain sight in front of the world, I don't think that's anything to joke about. And call it dark humor, morbid, whatever. I don't think it was cool. So Kevin Hart is saying, okay, y'all, I didn't know these jokes were coming. I didn't see the jokes before they were coming. But he's saying it's Tony Hinchcliffe, and he does crazy crash out kinds of bits like this all the time. And what are we expecting? Like, he's saying like this is expected. He wasn't surprised at all by his commentary. Okay, that's cool and all, but like I said earlier, where do you draw the line of being, okay, this is entertainment, this is comedy, and I am a Black man at the end of the day? And Kevin Hart was like, what did y'all want me to do in that moment? Here's what you could have done, right, Kevin Hart? I know you'll probably never see this, but without causing a huge scene, everyone was doing very crossing the line jokes, just very explicit jokes. Cool. But the fact that you attended George Floyd's funeral shows that you have some sort of a heart. No pun intended, Kevin Hart. You showed empathy, sympathy for the man and his family. And then for a white man to make a public joke right in front of your face about somebody being murdered that cost so much in this country, and you to laugh it off. Are you okay? You could have easily been like, like you could have laughed at all the other crazy jokes, all the jokes. Somebody even made a joke about Cheryl Underwood's husband committing suicide. Okay, like there were some lines crossed and pushing the envelope, as some would say. But you could have, when he said the George Floyd joke, I wouldn't have laughed. I would have just been like, not cool, not cool. Like, next joke, let's move on from that. But what did you do? You laughed and said, check, please. And here's what I've realized in this situation, right? Kevin, you weren't offended by the George Floyd joke simply because you're so far removed and out of touch. There's no way that it offended you. It's not about it being a joke. It's not about us new generation being too sensitive for comedy nowadays. It's simply about, I am a black man at the end of the day. I might be rich. I might have access and resources and be at all these events and sitting at these different tables and shaking hands with these people. But the fact that you let that joke completely slide, and I mean cha-cha slide, I honestly, it's quite disappointing. Like, I'm not saying that, I'm putting you in a box with Nicki Minaj, but it is disappointing. And I'm a fan. I like Kevin Hart. I know a lot of the older generation, they don't think Kevin Hart is funny. I always thought he was funny. I think he is very funny. I like his movies. I like his comedies, stand-up comedies and all that good stuff. I just think he is so far removed that he wasn't offended. And that is terrible, actually. I would never, and there are so many, I have the wildest dreams that I hope and wish and pray come true, but I never want to be that out of touch with my inner core, who I am, and with my blackness, that somebody says something that crazy right in front of my face and I just let it slide. I'm laughing, hee and ha. Speaking of more blackness, my girl Olandria from Love, I'm about to say Love and Hip Hop, from Love Island, USA. She has really been out here doing her biggest ones of ones, popping it with a capital P, and I love it. I know y'all have seen and heard all the controversy that's going on TikTok with Painted by Esther and Jackie Aina and Patrick Ta and Juvia's Place and all that. I don't even want to shed no light on it. I absolutely love just all the work that Olandria is getting, because I know she said that even before she went on Love Island that her dream was to become a model, and she is really, like, that's literally dream turned into reality. She has just recently did a collab collection with Brandon Blackwood, and it literally came out today and it sold out within like 15 minutes. I wanted one of the purses. It sold out. Shout out to Olandria. Shout out to Brandon Blackwood. And we just found out that Olandria is doing a matte collaboration with Blush and Painted by Esther. So that's going to be a what's it called? A triple duo, whatever situation. I'm sure that's going to sell out. Hopefully I can get my hands on the blush. Shout out to Painted by Esther. Y'all, it's just, like I tell people all the time, people always want to say, why do you have to bring race into it? Why do you have to bring race into it? When is race not in it? Here we are talking about makeup, and there's still racism at the bottom, at the underlining of that. We're talking about blush, okay? Painted by Esther, a technique that Painted by Esther, the makeup artist, revived her technique, and it's been stolen by someone not black and not given credit for. And it's become this huge discography, is that the right word? This huge conversation on TikTok and just on social media. So that's why I always say, black people are not sensitive. It's just the fact that race and racial issues and racism is always at the underlining of some bull crap, and we always got to be the center of it, and I'm sick of it. Y'all, I guess we just real black on this episode, because our next topic is tennis player and champion Naomi Osaka. Naomi recently hosted a dinner party hosting all of her only black tennis players. It has caused a little bit of conversation, but it hasn't went too crazy, I'm not gonna lie, but I wanted to talk about it because I loved it. I absolutely loved it. She released a statement. You know, some people were asking her, would it probably would be a big deal if someone said, you know, I'm hosting an all white dinner party for only white tennis players, or why does everything have to be about race again? And she simply said that there absolutely are dinner parties and tons of parties with tennis players where there are only white people there. Like, they don't have to announce it. So she said growing up, she didn't see that many tennis players who looked like her, especially being celebrated and united together. So she decided, with her platform and her resources, she was going to gather up her fellow tennis, co-workers and host a dinner party for all the black tennis players. And I love it. Why not celebrate and congratulate and fellowship with one another? What's wrong with that? She might have another party and some other people of color, some other races will be at that dinner party. But for this one, it's for the black folk only, and I love it. Okay? Actually, in 6th grade, I played tennis. I played tennis the whole year. I won every match except one. Right now in my adult life, I am actually about to start back playing tennis on a smaller local team or league here, whatever. But I got to get back conditioned first, right? You know what I'm saying? But I love tennis, and I enjoyed playing it when I was in middle school. I do like watching it sometimes. And shout out to Naomi, Osaka, and I believe she just started like the World Cup, or I don't know the name of it, but she is in France right now playing some matches. So I hope she wins. Good luck to Naomi, and I love the blackness. Also, Naomi is half black, half Japanese. Like, what are we talking about? People just like to find a problem when it comes to black people winning. You guys, speaking of blackness and all that stuff, y'all, I am just having the biggest dilemma. I'm at a crossroads with it right now. Y'all see I got my hair out today. Hey. Anyways, guys, the question that I want to pose to the audience, right? Am I too woke? Hear me out. I realized, I think like a couple weeks ago, I had straight hair. My little 1-2 number, right? And y'all, every now and then when I wear straight hair or I want to straighten my hair or whatever, like there's like a tiny piece of questioning in the back of my mind that says, am I conforming myself to fit in with the European beauty standard, or am I thinking about this too much? Like, I love my natural hair. I'm happy with it. But sometimes I do get frustrated when, certain tangles happen and it's not an easy comb through process. I'm not saying that I hate my hair at all. I love it. But what I'm saying is sometimes I feel guilty for wearing straight hair or wanting to wear straight hair. And I know that sounds so absurd. I was telling my coworker this the other day and she just looked upside my head like I was crazy. Like, Sophie, it's not that deep. It's just a hairstyle. I know. But for some reason, when I want to wear straight hair or anything like that, it's like, I'm asking myself subconsciously, I'm saying, are you trying to fit in with the European beauty standard? Why don't you think your hair is enough? And I do think my hair is enough. I love my natural hair, how it grows out of my head. This is the hair that I was given. This is what I was given. And I don't know, y'all. I think I'm just turning into Malcolm X. Like I said, when I want to wear my hair straight, I start to think I am conforming to the European beauty standard. Child. I have to laugh at my own self because I don't think it's that deep. It's not that serious. But sometimes it feels like it is that serious. Am I the only one out there? Huh? Am I the only one out there? Let me know. Speaking of hair, I just started watching the most recent season of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills because after Garcelle left, I stopped watching. But then I ran out of stuff to watch, so I started watching this season of Beverly Hills. And they went to, I think, Italy on a little girls trip, whatever. And I just thought it was so funny because they were supposed to have like a pool night. And all the white ladies talking about, I don't want to get my hair wet. I don't want to get my hair wet. I don't want to get my hair wet. And I was just laughing so hard to myself because typically we see black girls saying that. Oh, I'm not getting in the water to mess up my hair. I'm not gonna get my hair wet. And all of them was like, I'm not getting in the pool. I don't want to mess up my hair. I just thought that was so funny and wanted to point it out to you guys. But guess what? We are almost at the end of our show. But before we get out of here, of course, y'all know we got to end it with Sophie said it first, but not really, huh? It's a quote from my quote book. Let's pull it out. Ooh, y'all, this is a good one. And I hope my mom is watching this episode because this is for you, boo. So this is the quote I just flipped to randomly. Okay. This is... I don't know who this by. It says proverb. Okay, it says, worry is like a rocking chair. It will give you something to do, but it won't get you anywhere. Hello? I love that. And, I'm going to read it again. Worry is like a rocking chair. It will give you something to do, but it won't get you anywhere. When you worry, it's like walking around with an umbrella waiting for it to rain. What are you doing? You wasting time. You're expecting and you are preying on the negative to happen. Or not preying on the negative to happen, but there's nothing you can do. And I know it's easier said than done. It's people who I worry about, huh? Some family members who I worry about all the time. But I have to set myself aside from that and say, what can I do? If you do feel like you want to do something and help, and like me, it's a situation. I have exhausted all of my options, huh? Hey, I'm just a young adult. Ain't much I can do. But what I could do, I have tried. After that, ain't nothing else I can do. Okay, I can lead a horse to water. Can't make him drink it, huh? So it's almost inevitable as a human being to not worry, but I just try to make the conscious effort not to worry because I ain't finna drive myself crazy over a situation that I can't control. And I hope that other people understand that too, especially, just anyone out there when it comes to family or close friends, people who you love or things that you love, and maybe they are going through something or they're sick or they're having issues. It doesn't have to be just health issues, just issues. You want to try to help them and do all you can for them, but you also can't jeopardize your own mental health, your own sanity, okay, for something that you have no control over. So that's my quote of the day. What Sophie said it first. Y'all, we are done with this episode. I'm so excited to announce that on TikTok, one of my videos finally hit 100,000 views. So make sure y'all head over to TikTok and follow me at the SHOPHIEJO and also Instagram. I'm gonna get better on Instagram, but yeah. Make sure y'all subscribe. Hey, boo, it's free. Click that button at the bottom of the screen. And I'll see you guys in my next episode of the SHOPHIEJO Show. Whoa, whoa, whoa.